Hey friends, welcome back. We are going to make some tomato paste. Right now we're making tomato sauce for pasta, pizza, whatever. And then we're scraping out the skins and the seeds. If you have a food mill, that'll work, but I'm doing this by hand because that's the only option I have. None of the tomatoes from the garden are going to go to waste, or any part of it's going to go to waste. This is going to take a while and it's tedious, but that's okay. And I don't have anything powerful enough to blend all this up and blend the seeds up and the skin up to where it's not in the sauce. And it doesn't bother me that much, but it does a little bit. I don't want a ton of seeds and skin in my tomato sauce. So we're doing this. We're get two bangs for a buck. So we're going to dehydrate it. So once it's dehydrated and it's all dried up completely, we can turn it into powder, and that way you can't tell that there's seed or skin. And then at that point, that's when we can keep some of it dried in a jar, like in a pantry, shelf stable, and we can reconstitute some of it with a little bit of water, mix it up till it's paste-like, and then freeze it into individual little portions. So we're going to do both of those things because when it's wet like this, I can't get it blended. And every single tomato that was green, I was able to make them ripen inside this fall, so that was awesome. So once they were all ripened, I was ready to do one big, huge batch of this. All right, got a new tactic for getting this seed and skin separated. And then over here, to strain a little bit more, this is a colander on the stock pot. All right, here's my dehydrator. I have some sleeves, or not, I don't know what you call them, trays. So I'm just going to start piling it on. This is going on pretty thick, but I only have so many trays and I want to fit this all on there. So if it has to run for a long time, that's fine. I'm going to keep running on high for at least a day. Okay. It's as thick as we're going to go. Oh man. Stick it all on here. Making a mess with everything I do. Let me pick up that. Got it. All right, I'll see you back in a few days, however long it takes. I don't know. I have it on high. This is at 160, and I'll let you know how many hours, days, and all that it takes. It's 3:45 on January 1st. Okay, it's been 36 hours dehydrating on high, which is 160, and it's time. So I've got a coffee grinder here that we're trying first, and it doesn't work out very well. I take it off, shake it a few times, bang it a few times, and just doesn't do the job. So we are switching to a blender. This is like one of those bullet kind of things. It's a Ninja blender, and it works a lot better, but not quite what I'm looking for. You'll see. I take it off, shake it a few times, bang it around too, try to pulse it, and shaking it there. So we end up figuring it out, but this is kind of a trial and error. I actually spent 30 minutes recording, so it probably took me like an hour total to figure out the best blender. So I cut it back for you so you don't have to see all that. So let's take a look at what we got here. And not bad, but there's still chunks. So I'm not happy with that. So we go over to the blender cabinet, which I've collected blenders over the years, not on purpose. This is a food processor here, a Ninja, one that I've had for a really long time, and I really like it. So even though it's cracked and covered with tape, I still use it. So we put a few chunks in there to see what we can make happen. Can't fit very much in there, which is a bummer, so it's going to make it take longer. I do use this. It's doing pretty good. Not too shabby, but there are still a bunch of seeds in there, and I wanted the seeds and skins blended up to where it's a powder, not just chunks. I don't know. Anyways, so here's a comparison. We got more powdery-like from the Ninja Bullet than we did from just the Red Ninja food processor. So next attempt is to get out the Ninja blender, which also goes on that base over there. With the bullet and the blender both go on that same base. And we're going to see how this works out. Which we can do a whole lot more in this big blender than we can in the red food processor there. And we end up with the same consistency. So, Red Ninja, that's not going to work for us because we can put more in this one here. And let's pour it out and take a look at the consistency. So it did pretty good, but it's not a powder like I'm wanting. Still some seeds mixed in there. So I ended up putting everything into the bullet. So I blended it, put it back into the bullet again with a larger amount, and then it gave me a powder. The bullet worked better when it was full, not just a little bit in it, but like almost full, and then it gave us a powder. So that worked out great. So now my theory is let me blend it up real good. That way I can get a large amount. And then we'll put a large amount into the bullet and get a powder instead of just putting a small amount in the bullet and taking it on and off over and over and over again and adding more to it. This is much quicker and it's easily poured. That's how we end up doing it. So this hopefully is helpful to you if you have some food processors and blenders and you're not sure which one's going to work well for you. Just keep in mind that whatever you're planning on doing might not give you the consistency you're looking for, and you might have to try a few things out. And this is like a dual Ninja blender. I don't know exactly what it's called, but it worked. So in the blender, into the bullet, you get a powder. The seeds are all chopped up, and then here we're making paste. So we're going to keep most of it dried and on the pantry, shelf stable, but we're reconstituting it with water right now. And look at that. A few seeds here and there, but overall that's like a really good consistency. And I tasted it and it tasted just like tomato paste. So we succeeded. And now we're scooping just little portions, a little bit more than a tablespoon portion onto the plastic here because we're going to freeze some of this. We're going to freeze what we made into paste. So it's just kind of playing around with it, trying to see if we succeeded, and we did. So I rolled it up once, and we're putting 2 more blobs, as you can see. Oh, Scooby-Doo, do you want to taste? He said nope. Mookie's like, maybe I'll try not to bite your fingers. And then basically we just have another 2 here, and we're going to roll it and make a layer. And then if you had more and you were doing this, you just make your plastic wrap longer or don't cut it yet. Roll it again, put another couple of them down, and then keep rolling it. And now we have what looks like, never mind, I'm not going to say that. And we're just going to put it in the freezer like that. We can unroll it whenever we need 1 or 2. And that's our powder, final product. Very few seeds in there, so I'm pretty happy with that. And now we can add it to anything that we want to thicken. So like if your spaghetti sauce is too watery, like you add water to the jars and you're trying to get some of the extra sauce out of the jar, and you need to thicken it up, or you're making a chili or a stew or whatever, then add some, whatever you would use tomato paste in, just use the powder in. And we got 2 old spaghetti jars worth of powder. So I'm super happy with that. So thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. I will see you later. I'll pop up some videos for you to watch and clean up this mess in the process. And feel free to like and subscribe, and have a great day.